right to call an attorney right now. You spoke for 2 hours. 2 hours. I stood quiet 2 days just watching it play out. Watching what excuses the people come up with. Every day, every year, every time you come out, y'all move the goalposts further.
You are what you are, buddy. You official on the Wooden and Charleston White team. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm okay with this. But you is a snitch too, bro.
He is putting on a master class in how to take a good brand and totally it up. He made a bunch of phone calls to tell people how he felt about Gunna.
Chatty. Does Lil Durk got something to do with non-trade?
No.
Huh?
No.
Why did he have an opinion on my case?
He doesn't like rats. He said he doesn't like snitch.
21 Savage don't like rats?
Young Thug probably thought cracking jokes and spitting random lines would help him dodge the heat, but he couldn't have been more off. Fans are roasting him nonstop, and rappers from every side of the game are jumping in to add their 2 cents. It's like everyone's lining up to clown him, while the internet keeps turning every clip into a meme. Right now, Thug must be wishing he'd stayed silent and kept a low profile after getting out, because every single new leak is dragging his name deeper into the mud. It's like every day, another audio clip drops, and with each one, his reputation takes another hit. The man who once stood untouchable in the streets is now being questioned by the very culture that built him. And what's really making this whole thing explode? That 2-hour interrogation tape from way back in 2015. That video became the so-called smoking gun for people claiming he switched sides from the very beginning. It showed a version of Thug that fans never expected to see, and that image stuck like glue. When that footage rolled, Thug didn't even want to sign off on his rights, almost like he didn't want proof he was even sitting in that room. The whole energy was off from the start, and now it's coming back to haunt him big time. Then Thug straight up told the detectives he'd say whatever they wanted to hear, as long as it never saw the light of day. That one line said it all. He already knew how bad it would look if the streets ever caught wind of what he was saying behind closed doors. But once those cameras started rolling, Thug didn't hold back. He talked and talked like the room was his confession booth. He didn't just slip up, he threw Pee Wee Roscoe directly under the bus, flat out saying Roscoe was the one handling Wayne's stuff and getting into trouble out here on the regular. That's not small talk. That's a straight up accusation that could mess with another man's entire reputation. And what's wild is, Thug didn't stop there. He went full storyteller.
Durk got something to do with non-trade?
No.
Huh?
No.
Why did he have an opinion on my case?
He doesn't like rats. He said he doesn't like snitch.
21 Savage don't like rats?
Breaking down the whole money beef between Lil Wayne and Birdman like he'd been sitting front row watching it unfold. According to Thug, Birdman was blocking Wayne's album releases and keeping money that should have been Wayne's, calling Birdman a liar and saying Wayne got played and shortchanged. He even went as far as quoting Wayne's own lyrics, pulling out that line where Wayne raps, "Birdman is an army," but Thug flipped it on him saying, "I'm a one-man army, and if that dude coming for me, I'm going out like Tony." He really tried to sound fearless, but it backfired instantly. That's when things got even messier. Thug hinted straight up that Roscoe was the one who handled the attack on Wayne's tour bus. And when Roscoe later got hit with a 10-year sentence for that same case, everyone started connecting the dots. The timing, the details, everything lined up too perfectly. The streets couldn't believe it, and that's when people started saying Thug's own words might have been what sealed Roscoe's fate. Later in that same interrogation, when the cops started asking about YSL, Thug tried to play it cool and laugh it off like it was nothing. He told them YSL wasn't a gang at all, just a clothing brand that stood for Young Stone Life or Young Successful Living. He acted like all that gang talk was just street gossip, something people twisted for clout, but fast forward a few years and that statement aged like milk. Real quick, during his own RICO case, Thug ended up admitting to being part of a criminal street organization, which completely shattered that whole just fashion defense. It turned the entire thing into a punchline. Pure comedy at this point. By the end of the tape, Thug didn't even want to take the officer's business card, like he knew exactly how bad it would look if anyone ever saw it. But the damage was already done. The moment that clip hit the internet, social media went wild. They didn't hesitate. They instantly stamped him with the rat label. Overnight, his whole image flipped from street legend to controversy magnet. Thug tried to fight back fast, denying every rumor and saying he never cooperated. He claimed that since the footage never made it into court, it didn't count as snitching. Then he hopped on Twitter, firing off posts like, "Bashing me is only gonna mess the rap community up more. I'm the glue to this fake game." He really tried to hold his ground, but no matter how loud he shouted, the internet wasn't buying it. The timing couldn't have been worse either, because right when he was begging fans not to call him a rat, new clips just kept dropping, one after another, making him look guiltier each time. And fans fans couldn't help but point out the wild hypocrisy, especially when comparing his situation to what went down between him and Gunna. Everybody remembers how Thug went off on Gunna after that whole Alfred plea situation. Gunna stood in court and openly admitted that YSL was a gang.
Still talking about, oh, rat, da-da-da. Bro, that's God. That ain't nothing but God fighting you back in your, bro, because you probably been thankful that you just beat a life sentence in a RICO and came home and minded your business and been home. But instead, you still coming out pushing the rat narrative, bro, and all that, this, that, and the third. Now look, he came back and bought your bitch.
Even saying he personally knew members and associates were involved in crimes to keep things moving. For Thug, that was the ultimate backstab. He cut Gunna off instantly, blasting out tweets like, "Gunna, stop acting like we're friends on the internet. I don't know you, my guy." He made it loud and clear. He wanted nothing to do with him anymore. When Thug tried to stage his musical comeback, he didn't back down either. He came straight for Gunna in his lyrics, dropping bars like, "Brother, you a rat twin, you a pack." No coded messages, no guessing games, just raw shots fired through the mic. He made sure everyone knew exactly who he was talking about, and the industry took notice fast. The narrative was locked in. Gunna was branded as the traitor, while Thug positioned himself as the loyal one standing tall. But here's where everything flips upside down, because when you look closer, both of them ended up doing the same thing, taking plea deals. Gunna took the Alfred plea, admitting YSL was a gang, but not confessing personal guilt, while Thug himself took a straight-up guilty plea in his own RICO case. And that's the wild twist. Both deals still confirmed that YSL was involved in criminal activity. Now the internet's dragging Thug the same way he dragged Gunna. People are saying the tables have completely turned, that he's living by double standards. Either Gunna's a snitch, which by Thug's own logic makes him one too, or neither of them are. Either way, the hypocrisy is front and center, and the streets are not letting it slide. Either way, Thug trapped himself inside his own hypocrisy, and fans are loving every second of it. And we can't forget that infamous "yes ma'am" moment, those two little words from Gunna in court that went viral across the internet. Thug and his crew clowned him non-stop, pointing to it as proof that Gunna folded under pressure the second things got real. But now that the tables have turned, fans are starting to ask a whole new question. What about Thug's own 2-hour interrogation tape? The same one where he name-dropped Roscoe, spilled tea on Wayne and Birdman, and gave detectives detailed play-by-plays like he was narrating a movie. Suddenly, Gunna's "yes ma'am" doesn't look half as bad. It actually looks small compared to Thug sitting there talking and talking. One Reddit user summed it up perfectly, writing, "Gunna never told on nobody. What he said couldn't even be used against anyone. He secured his way out without snitching, but since it was filmed and leaked, people ran with the tag." But Thug was giving names, giving stories. That's rare activity. And honestly, that breakdown had social media buzzing like crazy. But it's not just fans on Reddit anymore. The conversations hit a whole new level. Major voices in the industry are starting to weigh in too. And one of the most surprising names getting pulled into this drama is Kendrick Lamar. In one of those leaked audios, Thug could actually be heard venting about Kendrick, saying he tried to get him on a feature for his 2023 album. That confession alone caught everyone off guard and opened up a whole new layer of this already wild story. When Thug talked about his album Business is Business, you could hear the frustration in his voice because Kendrick turned him down flat. The way Thug sounded on that leaked call, he wasn't just disappointed, he was straight up offended. He said things like, "These dudes too big, like I ain't doing no features. Why? Why wouldn't you want to do a feature for a superstar?" You could tell that rejection hit his pride hard. And according to Thug, it wasn't just him. He claimed Kendrick brushed off Lil Durk and Lil Baby the same exact way.
Snitch is someone that comply with the government, just bargaining for their freedom when they have done something illegal. Man, a rat, a snitching, it's nothing selective about that.
Is that snitching from what you heard so far?
That's telling, bro. He a snitch, bro.
He a snitch? Munchie stamping him a snitch.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't say nothing about the bus shit. You say he commit crimes every day, all right, but all that, he carried my drug shit, that's telling. Off the rip, that's telling, bro.
And for Thug, this whole thing wasn't about music. It was about respect and ego. He felt like Kendrick was purposely acting like he was above the rest of the rap world instead of embracing the culture and building with his peers. In the leaked call, Thug said, "You supposed to be a dude blessing it," clearly heated and fed up. Then he took it up a notch, saying that's exactly why artists like Kendrick would never reach Drake's level. Ever. The tone in his voice said it all. He was drawing a bold line between who connects with the streets and who doesn't. Thug even used Drake, someone he's worked with plenty of times, as his prime example of how a real superstar moves. He described Drake as generous with features, always tapping into different corners of the culture, lifting other artists up. Then he flipped it on Kendrick, painting him as too closed off, too self-contained, and too caught up in his own ego to share the spotlight. Thug didn't stop there either. He argued that Kendrick's refusal to collaborate is exactly why he doesn't have the same grip on certain parts of the culture, especially the East Coast street crowd. According to Thug, fans out there just don't fully connect with Kendrick's music because he doesn't move with the community like others do. It was a bold claim, and coming from Thug, it hit like a challenge to one of rap's most respected names. Then came the jab that made everybody stop scrolling. Thug went after Kendrick's own family. He took shots at Kendrick's cousin, Baby Keem, brushing off Keem's talent like it didn't matter and calling out Kendrick for wasting his powerful cosign on Blood instead of putting bigger names like himself, Lil Durk, or Lil Baby on the track. It was a bold move, and it didn't take long for it to backfire in a big way. The reaction online was instant. Fans started calling Thug's whole rant what it really was: pure entitlement. They pointed out the obvious. Kendrick doesn't owe Thug or anyone a feature. And when it comes to Baby Keem, that's literally his family. Of course, Kendrick's gonna look out for his cousin. That's loyalty, not favoritism. Whether Keem measures up to Thug's standards or not doesn't matter when family comes first. And here's where it gets wild. Kendrick might have already fired back at this type of energy before anyone even knew Thug had an issue with him. On Squabble Up, he drops lines like, "Pipe down, young. These some whole other politics be with him and some be in him." Then later in the same verse, he cuts deeper, spitting, "Tell me why you dudes rap if it's fictional. Tell me why you dudes fed if you criminal. Slash a dot, can I get a drop?" I'm like, nah. Now that those bars are being revisited, fans can't help but see them as a direct hit. Like Kendrick already saw this energy coming a mile away and drew his line in the sand early. That's classic Kendrick. He never jumps in interviews to throw names around. He just lets the music do the talking, and somehow the message always lands where it needs to. That's just not Kendrick's style. He doesn't waste breath in interviews or social media beefs. He lets his music speak for him, and now those bars hit way harder than anyone realized. But it wasn't only Kendrick dropping hidden shots. Enter 50 Cent. And you already know, if there's drama shaking up the rap game, Fifth is never staying quiet. He lives for this kind of chaos. Right after chatter about Thug's interrogation tapes started heating up, 50 came swinging with one of his classic cryptic posts on Instagram. He dropped a clip of a man dancing to the Dramatics classic In the Rain, but it was the caption that really had the internet spinning. He wrote, "This how you gotta move in the streets now."
Official on the Wooden and Charleston White team. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm okay with being a snitch. But you is a snitch too.
Cause these dudes telling. Be careful now. He didn't name drop Thug directly, but come on, the timing was way too perfect. This came just hours after Thug's interrogation footage leaked online, so fans didn't need any more clues. They instantly connected the dots and ran wild with it, saying 50 basically stamped Thug with the rat label without even saying his name. The post spread everywhere: Twitter, Reddit, blogs, and the reaction was explosive. And the crazy part, this wasn't even the first time 50 spoke up about the YSL mess. Back in 2023, when the RICO case first hit the headlines, he made it clear he was staying far away from anything even close to gang activity. He said the law wasn't just chasing the mafia anymore. Now prosecutors were coming after rappers who couldn't separate their music from the streets. In 50's eyes, guys like Thug were making themselves easy targets by trying to live in both worlds. To him, it wasn't about hate. It was a warning shot to the whole industry. Get your business straight before the system makes an example out of you. A lot of people actually agreed with 50's take, saying straight up, if YSL hadn't been moving like a gang in the first place, there wouldn't even be a RICO case, no drama, no snitch debate at all. But of course, when there's controversy this big, one name you know is going to jump in: Tekashi 6ix9ine. The most infamous snitch in modern hip-hop history, and the only one who actually embraces it. He doesn't hide from that label. He wears it like armor and throws it back in everybody's face. So the second Thug's interrogation leaks hit the internet, 6ix9ine wasted zero time. He went straight for Thug's neck, calling out the hypocrisy and saying the rap game was moving funny. He claimed the industry was treating Thug completely different from how they treated him. Back when 6ix9ine got locked up, rappers who weren't even connected to his case lined up to call him out, proudly saying they'd never worked with someone who cooperated. But now that it's Thug in the spotlight, those same voices are suddenly quiet or trying to justify it. 6ix9ine said the energy doesn't match, and honestly, he wasn't wrong about the double standard. He kept pressing the issue, saying people are moving the goalposts just because Thug has more respect in the culture. Then he went even further, downplaying Thug's entire situation, bragging that what Thug's facing is nothing compared to what he went through with the feds. He mocked Thug publicly, posting clips and captions saying stuff like, "Stop giving this dude applause, stop clapping for him taking a plea in the state. That's light work compared to a federal RICO." Whether people agreed with him or not, one thing was clear: 6ix9ine was loving every minute of it, and he knew exactly how to stir the pot and keep the spotlight on himself. 6ix9ine didn't hold back. He said, everybody took a plea in the state. That ain't no win. You got 20 years probation, dude. That ain't no win, dude. You lost. And the wild part, a lot of people actually agreed with him. That's when you know it's bad for Thug, when even his biggest haters start sounding believable. Then came YSL Mondo, a name that really hit close to home because he was part of Thug's original circle.
Them 6 more months, locked up in them conditions like that down. He'll tell to get out of jail too. He about ready to break.
I told y'all, I am the new prophet. And you mad that Yak got it. You mad at Gunna. Gunna don't have no interrogation tape. And everybody mad at Gunna.
Atlanta, I know y'all love Thug, and I love y'all. But y'all just bear with me. I'm finna destroy Young Thug. He will not be able to rap no more.
And Mondo's take made the whole thing sound even messier. According to him, Thug's downfall didn't start with those leaked interrogation tapes. It started the second he came home after beating his first RICO case. Instead of staying quiet, rebuilding, and moving smart, Mondo says Thug jumped right back into the spotlight, clowning Gunna, calling out other rappers as rats, and talking tough online, all while knowing he had his own skeletons tucked away. To Mondo, this is pure karma. He said Thug tried to paint himself as the anti-snitch, the one standing on street code, while secretly doing the very same thing he was calling others out for. Now that everything's spilled out in public, that image he built is collapsing fast, and the truth is biting back hard. Mondo didn't stop there either. He even turned his aim at Pee Wee Roscoe, claiming Roscoe had been brainwashed by Thug. It was a heavy accusation coming from someone who once rode with YSL from day one. And with all these voices, from haters to former allies, piling on, it's getting harder and harder for Thug to escape the cloud hanging over his name. This all went down right after Pee Wee Roscoe hopped on IG Live to defend Thug, trying to set the record straight. He said that in his eyes, a rat is only someone who cuts a deal with the government to save themselves after being found guilty. By that logic, Roscoe argued that Thug didn't qualify as one, but fans weren't buying it for a second. That definition felt way too convenient, especially coming from someone who had to sit down for a 10-year sentence in the same exact case Thug had talked about to investigators. To a lot of people, Roscoe's defense didn't sound like logic. It sounded like blind loyalty. He was standing by his guy no matter what, even if it meant twisting the definition to make it fit. But while Roscoe tried to protect Thug's name, others came out swinging with no mercy. Whack 100 and Munchie B, two voices known for keeping it brutally real, didn't sugarcoat a thing. They said it plain and simple. Thug was snitching, period. No riddles, no coded talk, no deep explanations. Their rule was clear. The moment you sit across from cops and start speaking on another man's business, giving names and details, that's telling. End of story. And just when the internet thought this saga couldn't get any crazier, here came the biggest twist of them all. YSL Woody, the same dude already labeled as a cooperator in the RICO case, stepped up and threw shade right back at Thug. Woody straight up said Thug was a snitch too, claiming he now officially belonged to what he called the rat community. That hit hard, because when even someone known for cooperating calls you one of them, that label becomes almost impossible to shake. Woody didn't stop there either. He dropped a warning aimed directly at Lil Baby and 21 Savage, telling them to keep their distance. Because if Thug goes down, he's the type to drag everyone with him. Not long after, fans noticed something interesting. 21 Savage quietly unfollowed Thug on Instagram. And of course, the internet ran with it, saying that move alone proved 21 was taking Woody's warning seriously. Whether that's true or not, the optics were bad, and it only added more fuel to the storm already surrounding Thug's name. While Woody was out here playing the role of a warning sign, Charleston White was practically cheering for Thug's downfall. Now, Charleston ain't even a rapper, but he's made a name for himself by stirring up chaos wherever he goes, and when it came to Thug, he was in rare form. He went on one of his signature rants, calling out Thug's hypocrisy with Gunna and saying straight up that he'd personally make sure Thug's career ended for good. He vowed that Thug wouldn't even be able to rap anymore once he was done with him. If anyone was celebrating this whole collapse like it was a national holiday, it was Charleston. But the drama didn't stop there, not even close. Another leaked phone call dropped, and this time it showed Thug taking shots at Lil Durk. In the clip, he said, I already done too much for you, man. Watch out. That one line hit heavy, especially since it came after Durk reportedly refused to clear a verse for Thug's album. The tension between them exploded from there, and Durk's OTF crew didn't waste any time jumping in. They started clowning Thug online, saying he was all talk and had lost the respect he once had in the game. To make things sting even worse, fans started digging through old tracks, and they found one of Durk's older lyrics where he said, "Rappers Goofy Stains, pay me for a song." Suddenly, social media lit up connecting that line directly to Thug, saying Durk had been calling him out years ago without even naming names. And the wildest part, fans are now saying that Thug's leaked comments just proved Durk right all along. Some even pointed out that Durk once said, "Keep him 6 more months, don't clear the verse," claiming that bar was foreshadowing the exact fallout we're seeing now. The whole thing has turned into another public L for Thug, and every new leak just keeps piling on more heat. At this point, the pressure on Thug isn't just about that interrogation tape anymore. It's way deeper than that. People are now painting him as straight up narcissistic, someone who twists stories, flips words, lies when it benefits him, and lashes out anytime he sees another artist shining. In the eyes of many, Thug has gone from confident to bitter, jealous, and entitled. And the accusations don't stop there, they go much further. There's a growing belief that Thug's reckless behavior actually cracked what used to be one of the strongest rap scenes in the country. Atlanta. For over a decade, Atlanta was the heartbeat of hip-hop, setting trends, breaking artists, and keeping unity alive in a way no other city could match. But now, critics are accusing Thug of single-handedly shaking that foundation with his ego, his endless feuds, and all the drama that follows him everywhere he goes. And here's where the irony hits hard. After all the ways Thug tried to drag Gunna's name through the mud, Gunna is the one coming out on top. His album dropped and went crazy, pulling in real numbers, earning critical respect, and getting fans back on his side. The same people who once doubted him are now calling him the comeback king. Some fans are even saying Gunna's project might have outsold Thug's business naturally, while rumors swirl that Thug's numbers were inflated by paid streams just to keep the illusion alive. Whether that's true or not, the message is clear. The tide has officially turned. Gunna's rebuilding his image while Thug's legacy keeps taking hit after hit, and the streets are watching every move. And for once, things aren't moving in Thug's favor. Gunna's image is slowly bouncing back, while Thug's reputation keeps sinking deeper by the day. Fans are even comparing his downfall to Meek Mill's. Remember when Meek went way too far with his anti-6ix9ine campaign? He got so obsessed with the Snitch narrative that it ended up drowning out his music and hurting his brand more than it helped. And now, people are saying Thug is walking down that same road, focused on calling everyone out, pointing fingers, and fighting ghosts instead of making the kind of music that made him a legend in the first place. The culture's take is loud and clear. If Thug ever wants a real comeback, he's got to drop the obsession, let the hate go, and find that energy he had when he first blew up. Fans don't want rants. They want the hits, the art, the energy that once made Thug one of the most unique voices in the game. But right now, instead of rebuilding, he's burning bridges left and right, and everyone that goes down takes a piece of his legacy with it. And in the rap game, once those bridges are gone, the stage starts looking empty real quick. So maybe it's time for Thug to decide. Keep chasing beefs and watch it all fade, or focus on the music and remind the world why his name mattered in the first place. If you made it this far, make sure to hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, share this video with your crew, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one.